All right, lesson 1.6 today. It says we are going to locate points on the coordinate plane today. We are locating points first on the coordinate plane with fractional distance. There we go. Okay, so our formula, it says the coordinates of a point on a line segment that is a over b of the distance from the initial endpoint, that's x1 and y1, to a terminal endpoint, x2 and y2, is given by this equation. Okay, so you're going to do x1 plus a fraction of the difference between them, and then y1 plus a fraction of the distance in between them. You have to determine the initial endpoint. The direction is important when you're doing fractional distance, so keep that in mind. That's what the little watch out is warning you about. Okay, so we're going to find the fractional distance of this problem here. It says find C on AB that it is 3/4 the distance from A to B. Now, if you had to make a reasonable guess, you'd go like halfway is like right in here somewhere and a quarter of the way. So you're looking for a point maybe right in here, this area somewhere, okay? You know, we should be in this area. So let's look and see where we end up at. We're going to plug in from A to B. So this has to be X1 and Y1, has to be -7 and -5. And then B is X2 and Y2. Okay, so I'm going to plug in -7 plus A over B is 3/4 of X2 minus X1. So 6 minus -7. And then Y1 is -5 plus 3/4 of Y2 minus Y1. So 8 minus -5. Okay, so it looks terrible here. I get that, but we could plug this all into our calculator, or we can know that this is 2 negatives makes us add it. And good. Makes us add that. Let me zoom in on this real quick. Okay, so I would have -7 plus 3/4 times 13. And then -5 plus 3/4 times, add those up, you'd have 13. Let's see, I'm gonna grab a calculator real quick if I have one. Right here. We do 3/4 times 13, and I get 39/4. So I have -7 plus 39/4. Is 11/4. Let me make that a decimal so that means more to us. 2.75 for the first one. And then I have -5. I'm going to plug all that in this time. Plus fraction 3/4 times 13. 4.75. Right, use the toggle button, change it to decimal. Let's see if that falls in our little circle that we're guessing it should be in. We're going 3/4 way, more than half the way to B. We're at 2.75. Be about right here, and up 4.75 is gonna be about right in here. Okay, right where we guess. So if we had a multiple choice exam with some points named, you might be able to kind of guess where that would end up at. All right, this one, we're gonna plug it in, but then we're gonna use our calculator to find both X and Y for us. So the first one, it says, find point C on BA that is 2/5 the distance from B to A. So this time we're starting at B. B is right up here at 2 up 9. And A is over at -8 down 6. Okay, so this one is X1 and Y1 this time. This one is X2 and Y2. Now, why is that? Because they said we're starting at B and we're going to A. Order is important when you're doing fractional distance, so pay attention to that. Let's plug in. X1 is 2. So I have 2 plus 2/5 x2 minus x1. So -8 minus 2. And then we find y. Y1 is 9. 9 plus. Okay, sorry about that. I tried to pause it. I was too slow. All right, 2/5. And then y2 is 6 minus y1 is 9. Okay, oh, -6. Sorry, -6 minus 9. Okay, so then I'm going to take this quantity here and plug all of that into my calculator, find out what x is. So I'm going to do 2 plus 2/5. If you type it in just like we wrote it, it'll save you from making any errors. That's -2. And then plug in the other one, 9 plus 2/5. -6 minus 9. I get +3. So think about this a minute. 2/5 is a little bit less than half. We should be a little less than halfway from B to A, and it's saying it's at -2. -2. Oh, up 3. I forgot these are counting by twos. We're good. -2 up 3 right there. Halfway, I'd guess to be about right in here. So I would say that's a little less than halfway. So that's good. Perfect. All right. What if they don't give us a fraction? What if they give us a ratio? If A has coordinates x, y, x1, y1, and C has the coordinates x2, y2, then a point B, the partitions the line segment, and a ratio of mn has these coordinates. Okay, now this is tricky. We have m plus n on the bottom on both. But then notice x1 and x2, it's swapped around. You got to multiply it times the other one. Okay, let's try this and we'll make sense of that. Okay, so like this first one, it says the ratio is 1 to 2. So that's m and that's n when we're plugging into our equation. Okay, so my equation is nx1 plus mx2 over m plus n. AB, so I'm gonna let this be x1 and y1, and this one be x2 and y2. So when I plug into just this first part, n is 2, so I'm gonna have 2 times x1 is -5, plus m is 1 times x2 is 6 over 1 plus 2. Okay, so notice those are swapped. There. Okay, and then let's solve that. Fraction button, 2 times -5 plus 1 times 6 over 1 plus 2. I typed it in just like I wrote it down when I plugged it in. And that gives me -4/3 or -1.3 repeating. Now that's just x. We still need to find y. So to find y, the formula is ny1 plus my2 over m plus n. Okay, so n is 2 still. 2 times y1 is -2 plus m is 1 times 2 over 1 plus 2. Plug that in on the calculator. Fraction button, 2 times -2 plus 1 times 2 over 1 plus 2. Make that a decimal, we get -0.6 repeating. So if I graph that, -1.3 and -0.6, be about right here. It says it's in a ratio of 1 to 2. So that means this one should be twice as long as this one, which it sure is. Okay, it's a ratio. That means this piece should be twice as long as what this little piece is here. Ratio of 1 to 2. M should be half as much as this is. It should be double, N should be double M. Okay, this one says find S on QR such that the ratio of QS and SR is 2 to 1. So this time it wants from Q to S to be twice as long as from Q or from S to R. Okay, we're trying to find this point here. Where is that going to be at exactly to make that be true? So let's do this. We have 2 to 1. That's M and N. Q is down here at -2, -5. That's going to be X1 and Y1. And R is up here at 4, 7. That's going to be X2 and Y2. So we plug into that formula. That gives me 1 times X1 is -2. Plus 2 times X2 is 4. Divided by 2 plus 1. It's going to give me X, and then if I plug in for Y, that'd be 1 times -5 plus 2 times 7 divided by 2 plus 1. That's just plugging into a formula. From there, we can use our calculator. See, fraction button, 1 times -2 plus 2 times 4, or 2 plus 1 is 2. 1 times -5 plus 2 times 7 over 2 plus 1, that's 3. So let's see if 2, 3 is a reasonable answer over 2, 3. Pretty dang close to where I thought it might be, actually. So when might you use any of this? Let's see this one here. It says Andy's traveling from Jeffersonville to Springfield. He plans to stop on a break. When the distance he has traveled and the distance he has left to travel have a ratio of 3 to 7. Where should Andre stop for his break? Ratio of 3 to 7. He is starting at Jeffersonville. So X1 and Y1 are -15 and 2. 25 and 17 are the X2 and Y2. And MN is a ratio of 3 to 7. Okay, so plugging into that formula, I would have 7 times X1 plus 3 times X2 over 3 plus 7. And then to find Y, I would have 7 times 2 plus 3 times 17 divided by 3 plus 7. Plug that in. 7 times -15 plus 3 times 25. 3 plus 7. This one gives me -3. 7 times 2 plus 3 times 17. Over 3 plus 7. This one gives me 6.5. See if that's an answer. -3 and 6.5. Yep. C. That's where they should stop. Let's look and see if it's reasonable. Look on here, -3. Be about right here, up 6.5. We're stopping right in this area. 3 to 7. 3 to 7 ratio. Okay, the last page, that just gives you your formulas. So that if you got them to plug into and you're doing your assignment. So if it gives you a fractional distance, you're using this. Gives you a ratio. A ratio. Let's say ratio. Use this formula. Okay, if you have questions, let me know. We can do some on your homework together.